This video today is going to be about B vitamins, specifically B1 and B3. And the reason why I want to bring these two vitamins up is because these vitamins are underrated. The information out there is really hard to find on these two vitamins and why they're so helpful. And I went through a health crisis and these two vitamins saved my life. I'll tell you about the B vitamins and why they're so important, but I will also tell you how I learned about it. B1, the reason why it's so important is because it actually manages anxiety. I had to do a lot of research to even find that information. I went through a health crisis where I was at such bad anxiety. I was just shaking all the time. I had actually went to the ER about it a couple times because I thought I was having a panic attack and didn't know how to get this anxiety managed and under control. I had Xanax I was getting from the emergency room visits, and that did work for a short period of time, but then as soon as I got too much of that in my system, it wasn't working. You know, the anxiety, it seemed like it got worse. Ativan worked the same way. I mean, all these things that they give you for anxiety, Klonopin, whatever it is that they give you now, they're only Band-Aids. They're short-term. I'm not saying anything bad about these medications. If anybody takes them, please, by all means, take the medication if that's all you have, because it's better to have no anxiety than to be troubled with severe anxiety and having panic attacks. Do what you got to do, right? No judgment here. Do what you got to do, how you got to do it to manage that anxiety. But this is how I found out about B1 and my journey with it and why it's so important. And I just want to wake up the masses and tell them and explain this to them, because I had to work really hard to find this information. I mean, I had to dig. I'm not exaggerating by saying it when I said dig, but I had to dig. If you try to go online and you try to look up what causes anxiety, I'm just going to tell you what you're going to keep hearing. B6 and B blah, whatever. But they're not going to tell you B1, which is the one that's actually going to fix that. They're going to tell you take something that has B1 in it. No, that doesn't work, because when your anxiety is that high, the other things that you take, yeah, they do have B1 in it, but it has such a little amount of B1, it's not going to give you what your body is needing. I went to a natural health doctor one time. I was low on vitamin C. She prescribed me a ton of vitamin C, like 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's too much. She's like, it's never too much. First of all, it's water soluble, which means you're just going to pee it out. And second, nobody ever died from taking too much vitamin C. And I was like, okay. And she's like, they give it to you IV right into your vein. If you can go to places like clinics and stuff where they can do that. And I was like, oh, interesting. She's like, so trust me, it's not too much. Don't let the FDA and all these ABC organizations scare you into thinking that you're taking too much vitamin C. It's the fat-soluble vitamins you have to watch out for. If you take too many of those, yes, that can damage your liver. It can be harmful to your body because your liver is having to process that. But anything water-soluble, B vitamins, vitamin C, you're safe, okay? You can take almost as much as you want of that. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just going to put that disclaimer out there right now. So don't just go by what I'm saying. Do your own research. Don't say, well, my auntie said. No, I'm not going to be held responsible for whatever you choose to take or not take or whatever. So, I have to put this disclaimer there saying, like, go to your doctor, listen or not listen to him, whatever. Don't listen to me. This is for educational purposes only. So just, this is just for fun. Okay? The doctor I had went to, the natural health doctor I had went to, she had told me about a thing called flood the barrel. And so basically what you're doing is, if you have a barrel and it has a hole in it at the very bottom and you're trying to fill it with water, every time you fill it with water, that water is going to leak out of that hole. So how do you get the water to rise above the hole and get to the top of the barrel without it leaking out too quickly? You have to flood it. You flood the barrel. You have to pour so much water at such a fast pace in large copious amounts at one time to where it doesn't matter that there's a hole at the bottom. You're shoving water in it so fast that what it's doing is instead of the water, the water doesn't basically have time to leak out the bottom of that hole. it's going to fill up to the top before it has time to catch up at the bottom and leak out of the hole. So that's what you're doing whenever you have a vitamin deficiency that's severe. This is why I was telling you, if you're low on B1 or B3, don't just go get a B complex supplement and think that's going to fix it. It's not. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to fix it, because you're going to get more of the vitamins you don't need, and then the one you do need, like the B1 and the B3, which it has a very little amount. They tend to only put a little amount in these complexes anyways. They tend to give you a ton of the ones you don't really, like B6 in there. Everybody needs B6. And as far as I know, I've never had a deficiency in B6. It's always been B1 and B3. So, like, why are you giving me so many milligrams of B6 in these complexes and barely any B1 and B3, which are the ones I need? And that's how most complexes are built. So you're not going to get what you need. So skip the complexes. I'm not saying don't take one. I mean, it's good, but it needs to be another discussion for another day. I will tell you how to get your B vitamins if you're going to do a complex. Don't do synthetic blends. Just go get some nutritional yeast tablets. You could take nutritional yeast like that you eat. Bragg's has a great brand. It's like these powdered flakes. They're kind of nutty, cheesy tasting, and you could sprinkle it on salads or foods or whatever. I like the taste of it. Not everybody likes the taste of it. Some people think it tastes weird. If you can't stomach that, they do have tablets. Dr. Berg, B-E-R-G, online on YouTube. And no, I don't work for him. I'm not promoting him, but not that I have a problem promoting him, but I'm not getting paid to do that. I'm just letting you know I should. Maybe I need to contact him and go online, go to Dr. Berg, and Amazon has it, and look up Dr. Berg nutritional yeast tablets. And just take however many they suggest on the back. If that's too many, then just take half of that, whatever. But you'll get your natural B vitamins that way. That is natural from food, from nature, and that's how you want it. You don't want this synthetic crap. Don't be on Amazon looking for synthetic B vitamin blends. You're wasting your time, okay? I'm telling you, 15 to 20 years of research here. I'm telling you, I've been through the gauntlet on these topics, and I'm saving you the homework. I'm saving you the time. I'm saving you the energy. I'm saving you the research that it took me years to figure this crap out, because no doctor's going to tell you. You're not going to learn it on your own unless you have a lot of time on your hands to dig, or you have a health crisis that forces you into wanting to know and have solutions and to dig. I'm cutting out all the guesswork. I'm cutting out all the bunk and all the garbage to just help you get down to the meat and bones of it and let you know right now, this is the kind of B vitamins you need to take. Nutritional yeast tabs from Dr. Berg. This is why you need to take it. This is what causes B1, so that way you can start managing what is depleting you. So B1 is very hard to test for. Your standard regular doctor is not going to be able to test for that. You'll have to do it through a lab company like LabCorp or something like that. Don't quote me. I don't remember which lab company it was that I spoke to over the phone, but I asked them, could they do a B1 test? And they were like, no, we don't do that. And I was like, why? They're like, no, it's very hard. It's very hard to do. There's a certain way you have to draw the blood, and then there's a certain time you have to do it, and then you have to get it sent off really quick, and it has to be dark, and you can't have any light hit it. And there was all these stipulations on what I was like, oh my gosh. They're like, that's why they don't test for B1, because it's so expensive and it's hard to do, and there's a certain way you got to be done, and there's a certain time window, and if it's not sent to us and looked at within that time window, then it's a false test, and you're not going to get the truth or the answers on if your B vitamins are low. And I was like, oh, there was something weird about it. I just remember calling them and them telling me all this, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought that when you went to the doctor and you got tested for your B vitamins, they drew your blood, that they looked at your B1 levels. Well, no, they really don't. And if they're telling you they do, then they're full of it, because there's only a certain way to test for it, and it's very tricky. This is what I've learned. This is what I've heard. So anyways, this is why it's really hard to find a deficiency in it, and doctors are usually not telling you, oh, by the way, you got a B1 deficiency, and I want to say B1 is like thiamine, okay? Don't quote me on that. Look it up. But this is why it's so hard to find, and this is why people are ending up really bad anxiety and going to their doctor saying, what's wrong with me? And then they're just giving you pills like Xanax and Klonopin and Ativan, and that's not the answer. You don't need to be on all these meds, okay? Those meds eventually long-term, they're great for you short-term. If you need them, take them, please, by any means, take them. But long-term, they're harmful to your body and actually can make your anxiety worse. So let me tell you what actually causes severe B1 deficiencies. High amounts of stress, stuck in fight or flight a lot. So if you had trauma in your life, or you went through traumatic experience at any point in time in your life, that depleted your B1 vitamins. And if that was not replenished through diet or food, it just kept getting more and more depleted. Now, another thing that depletes B1 vitamins is drinking. So excessive drinking, alcohol. If you like to party a lot and you like to drink, it's probably depleting your B vitamins. That's why you ever notice after you drink, the next morning you have what they call hangxiety, like a hangover with anxiety, and you're like, have all this anxiety about what you did the night before, and oh my God, did anybody see me act this way, and blah 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 blah, and you go through all this anxiety. It's called anxiety, is what I've heard. Anyways, that's a B1 deficiency. The alcohol literally sucks your B vitamins from you every time you take it. Having a baby. Babies will suck your nutrients from you, and you end up with, that's what baby blues is. That's all it is. All these are like, I don't know what we don't know what causes baby blues. Of course you don't, because you don't test for B1. If you test for B1, you would know that that's what causes anxiety. That's what, and you test for B3, specifically, you would know that's what causes niacin deficiency. So, or B3 deficiency. So all these people on all these antidepressants and all these anti-anxiety meds don't even need to be on them, really. Most of them don't, because it's just a B1 or B3 deficiency. Also, Wi-Fi sucks your B vitamins from you. Oh, badly. So if you're the one that stares at your phone all day, or, stuck in here's the worst one, stuck in an office with a lot of computers around you, that is just a lot of Wi-Fi monitors and stuff. That is sucking your B vitamins from you. It mimics the fight or flight or stress response. It actually hits those nerves, hits that part of your body, attacks your cells, and literally would throw you into fight or flight, which depletes your B vitamins. So if you are a type of person that works in a heavily electronic or electronic area or environment or office, and you have high anxiety, it's more than likely it's the Wi-Fi, it's electronics that are doing it. It's the EMF will do it as well. In fact, if you talk to people, a lot of people that get around high amounts of EMF, like meters and stuff, they'll tend to feel anxiety. You can do this. You can try it outside. Go outside and stand in front of your meter for a long period of time, or stand near a wall jack that you put your phone in, or that you put your plug in or whatever, for a period of time, and start seeing if you start feeling anxiety. Sit in front of a computer for a long amount of time and tell me if you don't start getting angry and irritated and agitated easy and getting anxiety. Yes, these things really do cause these problems, and because we have so much technology now and Wi-Fi and all this stuff, anxiety levels are going through the roof. People are on their devices more than they are outside or doing this or playing a board game or whatever. They're entertaining themselves with devices 24 hours a day, almost 7 days a week. So this is a huge issue now in our society now that's not talked about, and a lot of people don't know. It's like a big mystery. It's not a mystery to me because I studied it, I figured it out, and once I found out what it was, that it was B1 that I was being depleted in, I was like, oh my gosh. Now, what's the best source of B1? Because I know all that crap that's synthetic is not gonna work. And no, if that's all you have, take it. It's better than nothing. It will work, but that's not really what you want to do. You want to take the natural sources. It works more efficiently, effectively, better, and it's better for your body. So just stick with the natural sources. But like I said, you work with what you have. If all you have is a Xanax and you're having a panic attack, take that. If all you have is synthetic B1 at the time, take it. God bless your soul. Do whatever you got to do to make yourself feel better. Okay, so this is not me poking at anybody and saying you're bad for taking synthetic, blah, blah, blah. Don't do it long term. If that's all you have, like I said, take it for now, and then eventually get your butt online and get yourself legit B1 and legit B3. So that's kind of my spiel on B1. Now let me educate you on, first of all, let me go back and educate you on B1 on how I found out. I did have to do a lot of research. I went online looking, and like I said, everything I looked up was just telling me it's B3, it's B6, it's a B6 deficiency. So I was taking copious amounts of B6, nothing. Wasn't fixing a thing. It was giving me a lot of energy, which was just making my anxiety worse. It was just making me more anxious with a lot of energy. So it was just like drinking frappuccinos all day or something. Not cool. You don't need that high energy thrown at you or caffeine or anything like that when you're already dealing with anxiety, because it just escalates it. I said, okay, this is not working. Let me get down to the brass tacks of this and figure out what is really causing this. So it took me a while to find out the information. I love Dr. Berg. I'm not from, I should get paid to promote his videos. I need to work on those. But anyways, I'm not getting paid to promote his videos, so by pushing him, but he's great. I've learned a lot from this guy, and if there's something I can't figure out, I just go to him, and his videos really help me like pin it down and figure out like what's going on. One of the things I did was I did go to him and I looked him up and I said, okay, anxiety. Now, right off the bat, he didn't say B1, and I think the first couple videos I went through, because he had a few videos on anxiety and what causes it, and he was also saying, like, take B6, take this, take that, and I was like, no, it's not it, try that, Dr. Berg, like, help me out. I want to say there was a video I watched of his, and he was touching on anxiety, and then he did bring up B1, but he, like, brought it up really quick, and I don't think he elaborated too much on B1, but he was brought up in one of his videos, and I was like, okay, whoa, he said something I haven't tried yet. B1, maybe that's the answer. I've tried B6, I've tried B2, I've tried B12, I've tried all these things, and none of them have been working. What's this B1? Oh, B1's thiamine. Let me try that. First, I started Googling it, and I did my little deep dive, and wanted to figure out, is this what it is? And so I went in and I looked up severe B1 deficiency or severe thiamine deficiency. Does this cause anxiety? And I finally, the first couple things I pulled up didn't surface. I had to go through copious amounts of articles and websites before I finally found a website that was talking about thiamine and B1 and it being, yes, it can cause severe anxiety, like severe anxiety. And I was like, oh, so it is true. But like I said, it wasn't like it was right there in lights for me or like on the first web page. It was scrolling several web pages. Now, you may be able to find it easier now that the cat's kind of out of the bag, because I've been telling a lot of people over the years about it. I went on Facebook at one point in time and did a Facebook rant like 4 years ago about it and told everybody, hey, everybody, B1, because I was so happy. It was like, eureka, I found the mother lode and I want to share it with everybody. And so that's what I did. And so it wouldn't surprise me now if you pull it up and now it's easy to find. But when I was looking for it, I couldn't find a single article on it. Nothing. So let me tell you about going through the gauntlet, and let me tell you about how difficult it was to find that information. But I found it and I said, okay, if this is true, we're going to see if this works. So I went and I bought some B1 tablets that dissolve on your tongue. I tried that. It did seem like it helped it a little bit, but not as much as I would hoped, but it did help it. I was like, well, this seems like it's working. And then my husband's the one that found about Dr. Berg and yeast tablets, and he's like, try these yeast tablets. It's natural B1. I mean, those are okay, but you're not going to get as much as what you need like from these natural source from these yeast tablets. And I was like, okay. So we ordered the yeast tablets, we tried them, and I'm telling you, I mean, it worked that quick. Within that day of me taking those tablets, I felt myself relax. And I had to stay on it every day and like kind of flood the barrel. But once I started doing that, I have not had anxiety issues since. Not one. I went from panic attacks and freaking out about every little thing and overly thinking and just anxious all the time to calm. I mean, I have high energy anyways because I'm just always kind of been a high energy person. But it's amazing how my anxiety literally just melted away. And it was literally pretty instant. I recognized it within, it seemed like just a few hours of taking it. Definitely realized it by the next day when I continued to take it. I was like, okay, yes, this is working. This is what I need. This is what it was. And like I said, I was the Behringer for that information. I shot it out to everybody I could and let them know, I suffered with this. If anybody is suffering with this, please try this. It works. So that's B1. B3. Okay, that's another thing I want to mention here. So B3 is if you have severe depression, especially like from baby blues and stuff, real nice in B3, the kind that makes you flush, the kind that makes your skin red when you take it, that's the one you want to take, not just a B3 capsule. You want to take the kind that gives you the flush. It can be annoying and painful. They have non-flushing kind, but that is harder on your liver, so I'd be careful with that. Any B3 is better than no B3, but if you can get your hands on pharmaceutical grade B3, the kind that actually makes you flush, that's the one you want to be using if you have an extreme B3 deficiency or niacin deficiency. It's going to fix it. I'll have to do another video just on B3 and how I found out about that, what causes those deficiencies, and I will see you in another video on B3. Have a great day.